Alright everyone, so today I'm going to be showing you guys a lot of stuff. So this is going to probably be like the last CSS video, just because I want to start back on Python programming. But so I'm going to cram a lot into this, so this will probably be a longer video. But this is like all the really important stuff, and I'm just going to put it in one video so you guys don't have to go through a bajillion more. So we're going to be talking about a box model, which I will show you guys what that is. W3 Schools has a actually pretty good picture for it, and I'm sure they'll be okay with me using it. Otherwise, I'm probably gonna have this video removed for copyright. But whatever. Okay, so this is the box model. You have your content on the very inside, you have the padding, and then you have the border and the margin. Now the margin is pretty much used for positioning. Padding is pretty much like positioning within a border, and border is pretty much for looks, and the content is obviously where the content goes. So if you look into our index page, here, let me do this. Okay, if you look at our index page, you see that I made a few divs, each with their own class, which a class just basically says this is going to link to this part of the CSS page. You can also use ID, but I'm using class because I use classes a lot more than I used IDs. But yeah. Anyways, so this will say this is the container, this is the heading, and this is the paragraph. So if we go in here and we look at this, we see that we have a dot and then a name, and that is class and then the class name. But if we put a hashtag there, or octothorpe, or a not hash, or a pound sign, or a number sign, whatever you want to call it, then it becomes ID. But I'm going to use class for this. Anyways, now we're going to put our CSS in here. But first, I want to show you guys something that kind of is important. Remember how I said that in Internet Explorer, if you test everything in there, it'll turn out the way it will for everything else? Excuse me. Well, that is true. Wow, didn't have it selected. I was trying to look for open with. I'm going to show you what it looks like with Google Chrome. And I'm going to show you what it looks like with Internet Explorer. Let me save the file real fast so that we can refresh in these and then have it basically not show what it will look like in the end. Alright, so then there we go. Just wanted to make sure I gave you guys the right information, so I tested it beforehand. I also have the stuff on my website too, so I mean, pretty much copy and paste. Anyways, now here's what we're going to do. This is a heading, is in a heading tag, and that heading is within a div tag, which is in another div tag. So the container contains everything from here to here. So all of this will be affected by whatever we put into container. So if we put a text size or text font for container, it will do that to all of these tags within it, and so on and so forth. And then that will also work with like div class heading until the end of that tag. Now, what I'm going to do is show you guys first how to basically put all this into the center div tag and center margining of a web page. Now, you can do this really easy with Google Chrome and Firefox, but because Internet Explorer is made by people who just sniff glue all day, it's going to be a little bit trickier to do it in there, but we'll go over that later. So to do it in Google Chrome, which you guys may be wondering, well, why teach us this at all then? It's because it's a good idea that will work with a lot of other stuff. To do in Google Chrome, you're going to go into the container that contains everything else and controls them, and type margin colon auto semicolon. Now what this is going to do is, if we refer back to the box model, it's going to take this margin thing right here, that whole area, and it's going to take it and put it into the center. But because we haven't set a width to our page at all, it's just going to do that to the entire page, and our text is going to stay in the same place. So we're going to change the width to, let's say, 575 pixels, semicolon. So the width works the same way as image ones do, same with height, so I'm not going to go over those. You guys can pretty much just do that with the same syntax as CSS, and it should be pretty self-explanatory. Anyways, so now it will center everything within this big of a tag, and it will take that tag and put it in the center of the page because we said margin auto. You can also put margin 0 auto, and margin auto 0, but margin auto is just simpler. Anyways, if we press Control S and save like that and refresh this page, we have this little space right here. And now if we centered our text, of course it would be a little bit more obvious of it, but you don't want to center your text too much just because then it becomes like an eyesore. But if we move this, you can kind of see how it goes to the center of the page and leaves like a big space over here, and that's what you're going for. If you look at my website, which I'll put a link to once it's actually completely done, which I'll probably do over winter break, which starts tomorrow, then I'll just give you guys the link and you can look at what I'm talking about. But yeah, it's nice to have this little margin space over here, and that's how you do it in Google Chrome. But if we open up Internet Explorer and refresh, if we move this, it just stays in the same place. Nothing happened either way. And the reason for that is, like I said earlier, Google Chrome and Firefox are a lot better than Internet Explorer. So to do it with this, you have to do a little trick. You have to do, instead of margin, you have to do margin left colon, and then you're going to have to do a little offset. Now for my website, it's 375 pixels, but it might be different for this just because of the size of the tag, because I think my tag's a little bit bigger. But you still see this over here, and that's pretty much the only way to do it within Internet Explorer. Now that we have that, let me reopen this in Google Chrome. Should have never closed it, but oh well. You'll see that we have the same effect. We have this big margin over here. So it works in all browsers as well, but you need it to work in Google Chrome and Internet Explorer, because 40% of all internet users use Internet Explorer as their major browser, and then pretty much everything else goes to Firefox and Google Chrome, which actually add up to be really close to Internet Explorer. I think it's just a little bit under that, which is kind of obvious because there's still people out there who are like, well, Internet Explorer comes with Windows, it must be amazing. It sucks. But yeah, so that's pretty much how you center your div tags. Now we're going to go into our div heading, and I'm going to teach you guys about the border. We're going to do this in div para and div heading. So we're going to make a border attribute, and for this one we're going to make it about 5 pixels big, and I'll explain how all this works in a second. We're going to make it a solid border, and we're going to make it black. And then for this one, we're going to have the border 10 pixels dashed and white. No, white won't show up that great on gray. Let's make it gold. No, wait, purple. I'm pretty sure you guys can actually use like hex values like this as well, but this will just make it simpler for us. So Control S and save, and god dang it, I closed it again. Rawr. Okay. Anyways, we'll open it with Internet Explorer, and here we go. Okay. So now you see our awesome border that looks horrible, and you guys will get slapped if you ever put this in one of your websites, because people will hate you forever. Anyways, as you see, our dashed border is 10 pixels wide right here, and this one is 5 pixels wide and is black and solid. So if we go back and look at our CSS, you guys probably figured out how all this works. The 5 pixels right here refers to basically the thickness of it. Then the next one refers to the type of border, I guess, and whether it's solid or dashed. And then the third one is color. Now, what if we were to like mix these up? Well, if we get rid of solid, show you what happens. It just removes the border completely because it's like, I don't know what you want, and yeah, malfunction, self-destruct, boom, and then yeah. So you need to make sure that you put solid. But that's pretty much the basics to borders as well. There's not really much more to them, and yeah. So that's pretty much all I have to teach you guys in this one. If you have any more questions about CSS, ask me. I'll make a video on the subjects and add them into the list of CSS videos. I'm apologizing right now because I don't even know how long this video was, but I know it's going to be a lot longer than what my other videos are, so sorry for that. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. If you like the video, like it, gives me support. Comment with any questions or anything you just want to say about the video, and I'll see you guys later, hopefully. So, bye bye.